Welcome to Inside the Force. I'm Greg Grunberg, a.k.a. Snap Wexley.
It is a period of Star Wars mania, as new movies, comic books, novels, and TV shows populate the system. Fueled by their love and passion for the galaxy far, far away, two exceptional geeks tap into hundreds of holocrons in order to bring you the knowledge and insight of all things Star Wars. Come and join them as they go inside the Force.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Dave Cottingham here with Casey Cooley.
Hello everybody.
Welcome to Inside the Force. Thanks for hanging out with us and checking us out. This is 143.
Hey.
Big shout out to Casey Cooley for his birthday the other day.
That's right. Just the other day.
Has a Star Wars movie been released on your birthday?
Episode 5.
Episode 5?
Like,
back in the 80s? 1980?
11 years ago, before I was born.
So the prequels weren't anytime during your birthday?
Well, close by. Episode 3 was May 19th.
Ah, yes,
that was the closest I can recall. I don't remember the specific dates of the other ones. 20-something probably. I have to look that up.
Yeah.
But no, because I saw episode 3... That was a couple days before.
Yeah, I remember May 19th, actually, yeah. Because that was 2005, right? No. Yeah, 2005.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. It was a Wednesday, I think, right? They're all Wednesdays.
Oh, that's right. It was a Wednesday. Because I saw it Wednesday, and then I saw it Friday.
Yeah.
On my birthday. On my actual birthday, yeah. Wow. Phantom Menace came out May 19th, 99.
May 19th? Okay.
I guess so. Wow.
And Attack of the Clones?
Attack of the Clones, let's see. No, I actually don't recall seeing Attack of the Clones in theaters.
Oh, really?
I can't remember. I saw Phantom Menace like twice.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Anyway, Casey celebrated a birthday this past weekend.
May 16th.
How was it?
It was good. Good chill birthday. Just kind of relaxed, and it's kind of a rainy day a little bit. So, relaxed.
They're all chill as you get older.
Chill to more and more chill. Just easing on through the years
now. That was you share a month with May the 4th, which is cool.
Yes, yeah. Because school right now at work, we're everything's dying down, so we had like our field day kind of thing, our spring fling we call it, and I noticed in the library that there was someone brought a Star Wars trivia game, the same one that you have with the lightsabers that you added. You built the lightsabers.
Yeah.
And I have a student who's a huge Star Wars fan, challenged me to the game. So I played. Me and him played, and another kid played. And I actually lost because those daggone trivia questions are so like specific. It's like these little trivial. These like small little. You basically guess at it almost every time because it's like, what's the company that made this ship? That kind of stuff. So that was pretty cool. But I like playing that game because the first player that goes, it always says, of all the players, whoever has the birthday closest to May the 4th goes first. That's in the directions. So my birthday is usually always the closest to May the 4th. So I always go first. But if I was May 4th, that would be the coolest birthday.
Yeah.
Gosh, lucky dog whoever has that birthday.
Actually, guy I work with, Mike Friedman.
He's May the 4th?
4th.
Gosh, dang it. That's awesome.
I know, right? Yeah, I mean, he could probably care less.
Yeah.
but we celebrate his birthday on May the 4th. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Well, we actually celebrated it because I think Anthony, who I work with, is May the 2nd. Mm. So we actually celebrate the 3rd for both of them, but Mike's is actually May the 4th. So anyway, all right. So as we get into the actual episode here, let's get into some news right away, obviously. And we're talking, the upcoming films, Rogue One and Episode 8, both have kind of somewhat news, I think.
I guess 8. Wow, my iPad just kind of crashed on me. We're going to talk about a bit of Episode 8 with some rumored titles. But they're still shooting, still kind of going on, and I guess they're still in Ireland, it seems like. They're still doing some stuff with Skellig Michael area. No, that's not that. They're somewhere else in Ireland.
Yeah, I think so.
But still, I think it's the location of Octo Island. I think they're still kind of. Apparently, there's just a huge sequence there, I guess, because a rumored scene has like description has been released. It seems like it's true. I mean, I don't know. I mean, at this point, like, yeah, I'm still hesitant to read spoilers, but like, I don't know. It's just. I'm afraid I'm getting too lax because I read this. It seems like an awesome little scene, not too spoilery, but still pretty cool. So if you don't want to hear of what this is for potential of it being true, then please don't listen for the next like 2 minutes. I don't know.
Yeah.
So essentially, the scene, Octo Island, Luke and Rey are there, and Kylo Ren and the Knights of Ren basically ambush Luke and Rey on the island. And there's like a big fight, and they kind of split off where the Knights of Ren or Kylo and Rey are fighting by like this like cliff or whatever, like a castle or something, and Luke and the rest of the Knights of Ren are fighting somewhere else, and it's just a crazy like scenario to think of. Rey has Luke, the blue saber, Anakin's saber, and is fighting off Kylo. And then Luke is just pulling out his green saber, fighting off the rest of the knights. And the way the scene is described, he just slices through all of them. Like he just kind of disposes of like the entire Knights of Ren, and then approaches Kylo and Rey. And Kylo sees Luke and kind of like, I guess realizes he could die, so he kind of escapes. But this seems like it's pretty true because there's been other reports of seeing the Knights of Ren or people dressed in dark robes, dark clothing on the sets of where they're shooting currently. And there's like sights of what looks to be like a crashed ship. I've read like, so it looks like almost like the Knights of Ren crashed their ship on the island and fight, and Kylo somehow escapes. So. It's sounds awesome. Sounds like a really cool scene. Mm-hmm. I wonder if that's like early on in the movie too, because it's pretty.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta think because of that. There's all those rumors about. Well, it looks like it's gonna take place right after the end.
Yeah,
but there's got to be time where
I'm sure
Kylo heals and
figures out where Luke is.
Yeah. I mean, how does he know? He didn't have the map.
Yeah,
and in fact, I think that's got to be much later after he finds out somehow.
Yeah, maybe.
And Rey's been training, so she's got to be able to hold her own.
Mm-hmm.
She did, but
yeah. Oh, yeah. Now that she's got more training, I feel like they're both training. Kylo apparently is finishing his training.
Correct.
Rey, so they're both kind of getting better as the movie goes on. I wonder though. It seems like Octo Island might be kind of what Jakku was, like that first big location. And they get off the island, and they go, then Luke and Rey, I guess, join with the rest of the Resistance.
Yeah.
To fight off. I mean, I'm just curious to see at the state of the First Order, because I just feel like destroying Starkiller Base, there were tons of stormtroopers on there, tons of ships on there.
They both, and then basically it's just a little resistance against a little First Order.
I feel like they're both limping along.
How can they? Yeah,
because they're not as big as the Empire.
I mean. If you think about it realistically in our planet, just small scale, like there'd be riots all over the place.
Yeah.
Like who's policing anything?
Yeah.
Right? There's no Navy. I mean, local police, I guess they're out, but it's like no one else above that. Mm-hmm. The Resistance, there's like 10 X-Wings and a Millennium Falcon?
Yeah.
And then I mean, I would think though I think a First Order. But see, they got started. Is there more Star Destroyers, or is like the Infiltrator the only one?
There are several. Yeah,
there are several Star Destroyers.
Mm-hmm. Because I've never seen some. I think of Force Awakens.
When?
I think in the very beginning, wasn't there? There's that big one that was covering.
That's the Infiltrator.
I think there were some other ones around there.
I don't think so.
I feel like I remember reading Hidalgo mentioning on a tweet that there actually were several other
Star Destroyers
somewhere. But that's a good question. But I feel like that there had to be more.
I mean, I guess there are. Then those are still out there.
Yeah. So but they're not as big as the Empire was, right? They're not.
I don't think so. But
they're still kind of like coming out. They're still.
Well, again, and the one thing I will mention that we're working on actually bringing. I saw a little tease out there. We're actually working on bringing some other guests on here as far as covering some reviews and stuff, books, novels, and stuff like that. So comics, but anyway. So what we need is a Bloodline review because
true.
I think Bloodline, which neither of us have really been able to dive into yet. That does kind of, I think, answer some of those questions on how the First Order got to where they were in Force Awakens and how long. Because I mean, they've been around for a few years now. I mean, the Resistance has been around for a few years because of the First Order.
Right.
Basically, what I do know is that Leia is the only one that kind of advocated that, hey, this is a threat.
Yeah.
Basically the Republic was like, oh, come on. They're just running away.
Again.
But they don't, they didn't know about Starkiller. No one knew about Starkiller Base, just like no one knew about the Death Star, you know? So, but Starkiller Base, again, I mean, it's funny how you think of like, from A New Hope to Return of the Jedi, it was like, it's only 4 years, but you're like, when did they start the construction of the second Death Star?
Yeah.
Because there's no way they got that far just in 3 years, or 4 years.
Yeah, we need some books about that.
But Starkiller Base, I mean, come on. If you saw the comparison.
Yeah.
That had to have taken decades.
To excavate a planet or whatever they had to do?
Yes. Decades.
Yeah.
So were they doing that was that like an Empire thing? And then
I would think I do, again, Bloodline
You know what I mean?
might explain the origin of the First Order better to where maybe some high up admiral from the Empire maybe started that. Maybe it was Thrawn. Maybe Thrawn started the First Order.
You mean so after it fell, it was like, I'm going to take over and now it's going to be the First Order, but and there was a base over here that we got to complete and start, I don't know.
Maybe like unfinished plans of the Emperor. Maybe it was like, this is one thing that he wanted to start and I'm going to finish it for him or something like that.
Yeah, I just don't see how they can knock that out in like 10 years.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe. I mean, you get maybe a billion people working on it, maybe. I don't know.
Technology, man. There's
True.
all kinds of things they can just say, hey, we got this machine that can do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible, I guess, but yeah. So, yeah, that scene, which by now you hopefully fast forward so we won't spoil it anymore, but
seems cool.
Yeah.
But Rogue One, not much going on with Rogue One. There was one big thing that kind of was, I guess, leaked. Did you ever get a look at that? I texted to you, I think.
The visual guide thing? Yeah.
I
I didn't. I just saw like some names of characters. Really.
Yeah, that's pretty much all that
yeah.
was released. But somehow the Rogue One visual guide, like a little book, kind of the books that we profile from, was leaked, and someone took pictures of it. The cover looks pretty cool. It's like kind of new images of the characters from Rogue One, but it basically lays out their character names and nothing revealing. It's not like, Kyle Katarn,
exactly,
something like that. Like these are all original character names. Here's right here. The cover looks pretty cool. Like you see some Y wings, X wings. You get a good look at the droid that Alan Tudyk is playing. Just you see everybody kind of in an action pose, very Star Wars-y kind of pose. And they're still continuing with on the cover, like that kind of green palm tree. Dang it, up there, that kind of like palm tree-esque kind of thing. The AT-ATs do look more different,
a little different.
It's different than I remember from the trailer. Like it's quite different.
But there's no Vader.
If you look in there though, there is a picture.
No, I mean on that cover.
On that cover, no, there's no Vader.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta open this article because I remember seeing.
And there's not even a list of him as a character, is it?
Well, I don't think so, but I could have sworn I saw a picture on this. Yeah. So on this book here, it shows.
Yeah, that
villains.
has Vader on it.
It shows like the Imperial villains. It has Vader in the kind of the corner of it, which basically tells me Vader's going to be in this.
Yeah.
But it gives the character name of the Ben Mendelsohn character, and I guess he's not an admiral.
He's a Moff, isn't he? Is that a Moff?
No. Let me read his name. It's hold on here. Being a little slow. But so I mean, again, this is not revealing, so I'm going to go ahead and read
Yeah.
the names. Felicity Jones is Jen Urso. Get the
Yes.
soldier, warrior. Diego Luna.
Urso as in ERSO?
Yep.
Yeah.
Diego Luna, who we kind of think of as the Calcataran character, plays Captain Cassian Andor, an officer in the Rebel Alliance. Jiang Wen plays Baze, a freelance assassin. Alan Tudyk is the CGI robot K250, a Volstradeka droid. How do we say that? And Imperial model, but teams up with the Rebels. Riz Ahmed is Body, a Rebel soldier, which that name actually sounds familiar in the Star Wars world, but not the same guy that I'm thinking of. Pao is an alien, described as a fierce warrior. Donnie Yen is Chirrut, a spiritual warrior. Bistan is the actor plays another alien, described as a fierce warrior. And Ben Mendelsohn is Director Krennic, the military director of the Empire, to defend the Galactic Empire against the theft of Mission Rebels. So Director Krennic. Which, I mean, his insignia is the same colors as we saw in the book here. The absolute other thing you know of Star Wars is Admiral. Right. It was like the same coloring.
Is
Like
it?
I think it was like the blue and the red, but it doesn't say it in the official description, but Director Krennic. That's what he's going to be referred to as. But this book looks pretty cool. I mean, I would love to read through this book. It's
I'm sure it's just like the Force Awakens.
Yeah,
It's
pretty
called
much.
that, right? Visual Encyclopedia, like that is?
Yeah. Visual
Yeah.
thing. I mean, looks.
And I'm pretty sure it's scheduled to probably come out the day the movie comes out. Like
Probably.
that is. So,
But it's got
so you're
like
not technically spoiled on it, but, you know, it's stuff that,
there's some pages here. Like there's straight up
yeah.
pages that are been scanned in. These are great scans. So I don't know how this got leaked.
Yeah.
Talks about the walkers. Talks about the droid, the K250.
I'm sure so many,
A new looking rebel
somebody get
starfighter.
fired.
Yeah. Oh yeah. A U-wing, a new ship called the U-wing. Oh, it went by, but the TIE Striker. Like it's just several different things here. Pretty cool. It talks about the Death Star, plans of the Death Star. What else we got? I mean, that's pretty much it. But that's
So nothing really
no
on the story or,
I don't
any
believe so.
reveals.
I mean, it has
or anything.
more in-depth character descriptions that I'm not going to read, but nor could I if I really couldn't tell what it says. But yeah, it goes a lot. There's a lot of information here about the Imperials and these different characters. So if you want to learn more about them, go find it. It's out there. Rogue One visual guide, and you'll definitely see it as a better picture of the entire fleet of good guys. Very cool. Great movie. I'm sure it will be, and I'm very excited about it. It looks awesome.
It does look awesome.
I wonder what we'll get in celebration with it. Some clips or something, maybe. I don't know. Trailer, most likely.
Celebration?
Yeah. Just probably a trailer. Right? And pictures. Like, kind of like what Force Awakens, like behind the scenes.
It might be a
pictures,
behind
maybe.
the scenes thing. I have a feeling that I kind of have a feeling that it won't actually be too much, because I think that it might be a behind the scenes thing. Because I think they might save like a big trailer for like in the fall or early, late fall.
Yeah.
They won't wait till Thanksgiving, I don't think, but it'll be September or so, maybe. I don't know. Okay, so also the big possible leak that's spreading around social media right now is the apparent title
Yes, indeed.
of episode 8. Now, I guess it's up to you to. I mean,
It sounds like it could be true.
it looks like it could be true, but then
Star Wars-y title.
there's a lot of people that say they don't think it is. It's just
Too simple. whatever.
somebody just made. I've seen the picture of it. I haven't actually played the video.
Oh, I see. I haven't seen.
There's like a
that.
little video.
Yeah.
But anyway, the title apparently, what everybody's kind of talking about, is Fall of the Resistance.
Ooh.
Which I don't know. I mean, it fits.
Yeah.
I'm actually getting I had it up, but oh, there it is. So yeah, there's apparently it's somebody that is filmed it with their phone. They saw a sign.
Some kind of convention thing, like a
somewhere.
merchandising convention.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It's like a picture of.
Interesting.
Yeah,
See,
is that made up?
It could be like someone could have just printed off a nice
there's a
poster.
celebration logo underneath it.
Yeah,
which makes it look like a poster kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like of what they did kind of at Star
so
Wars.
It's like a light box kind of marquee kind of thing.
Yes. So it clearly says Fall of the Resistance. And it's got, like I said, it's got the Celebration Europe logo on it as well. It looks like a poster and a marquee, like you said. So, most people are saying it's fake, or somehow it's fake, or I don't know. It could be that. I mean, it easily could be that.
Sure.
That's what the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it harpens really back at. I mean, that's the thing, right? The theme of the prequels. I remember him. I mean, they do mirror each other, right?
Yeah.
A three-worded start, A New Hope, Phantom Menace, and then you have Empire Strikes Back, and then you have Attack of the Clones.
Yeah.
You've got Return of the Jedi, Revenge of the Sith. So now it fits. Fall of the Resistance actually does fit. I mean, it's, I don't know.
It just fits. I think. I feel like that's how the story could go because I was kind of thinking of, we were talking about before the show, like if you compare it to Empire Strikes Back, that movie, the Alliance of the Rebellion, they kind of do fall in a way. They take a big setback. The good guys don't win. Really at the end of that movie, Luke gets his hand chopped off. Han gets kidnapped, put in carbonite. Basically the Empire kind of had a little victory in that. So it could have easily been called Fall of the Rebellion or Fall of the Alliance or something like that in a way. So I feel like, this second film in this sequel trilogy is going along with that same path as it should. The three movies, it's like a 3 acts. You got something really bad has to happen in this movie for it to have a nice climactic ending in the third movie. So if it's not real, then this fan is very logical and logically thinking with how he created his fake title. But I think it definitely could be real.
Yeah, it could be. I don't know. I have a hard time believing somehow they. The only thing I have a hard time just believing that they somehow displayed it like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Almost like...
I mean, if it was like a week before Celebration, maybe.
Yeah.
But we're still 2 months away from Celebration, right? So it's...
Why would they set up a display like that just to see... Let's see how it looks.
Unless that was at a like Lucasfilm party and they were like... Hey, look at the new poster that's going to show up.
They're all buzzed. Like, hey guys, I got the
dude,
poster.
I guys, yeah. I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of, but that's what makes me kind of think it's not.
Yeah, I mean, if it's not,
because how many times there were, leaked titles.
Yeah,
during the prequels is like.
Even Force Awakens, there were several.
In fact, Fall of the Republic was episode 2, like
really?
Forever. People thought, oh, Fall of the Republic, because that started the Clone Wars, right? Yeah. Which would have worked.
Yeah.
I mean, technically would have worked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
episode 9. What would that be like?
Yeah.
Return. No,
we should actually try to come up with like our top 3 titles and see if it ends up being right. Like make our own titles up. What we would
for 8?
For 8. And see what's right. Because Fall of the Resistance might be one of mine.
That's what else can I think of? Like, I don't know. You always go to like Return of this, Revenge of that. Like, no,
you can't use that word again. Probably
Return of the First Order. No. Yeah, it's tough. They picked all the good verbs.
I mean, could it be I don't know. Yeah,
It's so tough.
I don't know. Okay, anyway. All right, let's see. What else you got?
I honestly, other than that, it's been kind of a quiet
Yeah, it's very quiet.
week. They're still shooting episode 8. I mean, there's not much going on with Rogue One. There's no marketing yet. There's really nothing out there.
There was episode 2 of the Star Wars show that came out last week. Obviously, they talked to a band, churches, yeah.
Star Wars,
brief little news,
Fan.
Nothing too revealing, obviously, on that thing.
Yeah.
The website's been a little slow as well. I will say, looking ahead to comics this coming week here, the series Obi-Wan and Anakin wraps up, number 5. And Star Wars 19 comes out this week. I promise we'll get back to like regular reviews on this stuff as soon as I get settled in the building that we're moving in. This is crazy at work. Okay, so I do want to talk about, if we don't have, if we're done kind of on the news stuff, I do want to mention something briefly that I read. So it's on StarWars.com. I saw a tweet, I'm trying to bring it up, by somebody, I think one of the StarWars.com writers, and they mentioned about, I can't find the article on here, but they mentioned about the term, or basically the prophecy.
Yeah.
How the prophecy of bringing balance to the Force, chosen one, all that stuff, how, I guess with all the rumors that are out there that, possibly Rey being the chosen one or a chosen one, that there's a lot of, speculation of what that really means or what actually, and to be honest, as he talks about in the article, is he mentions how the prophecy hasn't really been explained. Like,
right.
It's still lingering out there. Like, what does it mean to bring balance?
That's
some people believe,
question,
right? So some people believe the balance is, the right amount of Sith and Jedi. Yeah. Some think it's elimination of the Sith. Some think it's, too many Jedi. I don't know, whatever. So it's cool that he lays out like, well, all you can do right now is kind of watch the things that talk about it. So he outlines, first watch episode 1 because it introduces the chosen one, and then watch those 3 Mortis episodes because it talks about Anakin's. Totally. And then he says, watch Revenge of the Sith. Kind of starts it, and then there's a and then he talks about Twilight of the Apprentice at the end of season 2 of Rebels. How it kind of talks about it a little bit, and then it's what's weird is I don't think he mentions anything about the Yoda arc, which someone in the comments mentioned that Yoda. It's because someone mentioned, that's another arc I need to watch again because they mentioned in there about, he says someone mentions there that in the Yoda arc, it's believed that balance is Palpatine. Sidious is the one that brought it out of balance. Yeah, because of his rise and
what he's trying to do.
Do, and then so the balance restored balance after Vader killed Sidious. Yeah, Palpatine, or whatever, which would fulfill the chosen one's prophecy, right? The prophecy of the chosen one for that chosen one, if it's that chosen one. So
that's true.
So that's what I wanted to just briefly talk about. What's your feeling of like, what does that mean to actually, because okay, so in the end though, I do believe we're going to get an answer eventually. Like, I think I think they've actually had that question ever since they bought Disney, and Story Group was formed. It's like, because I'm not sure Lucas had, I'm sure Lucas maybe had a thought about it. But let's keep in mind that, I guess maybe someone knows about this, but did he always have, like when he was doing 4, 5, and 6, did he have in his mind that Anakin was a chosen one? Because I don't think he did.
I don't think so.
I kind of feel like that came about when he started thinking about episode 1.
Maybe, yeah.
So, and then, he was behind the Mortis arc, so he's kind of trying to explain what it is.
Yeah.
But it still is unclear about, the chosen one is one thing. That's pretty simple to figure out.
Yeah.
But it's, what is his prophecy about bringing balance to the Force? What do you think it is to bring balance?
Kind of like what you said. I kind of try to go off with what's out there, what's canon. And it seems like it is the right balance of good and evil. Because balance, you have to have a little bit of both for it to be physically balanced, like level. But then again, it's like, you got to think of when the chosen one was born. They were born to start putting everything back into balance. Mm-hmm. So, like, Anakin had to have been born maybe when Palpatine started to enact his plans. He was around 8 years old when Episode 1 started, so he had been born 8 years before that. So what happened 8 years prior to Episode 1? Maybe that was when Palpatine became a politician. I don't know. Kind of started his plan, or maybe that's when he became a Sith. And like if Rey is the chosen one, maybe she was born kind of around the time when Snoke started to corrupt Kylo Ren. So it's almost like there can be dark side out there can be Sith out there. But as soon as the Sith start to try to gain more of a foothold than what they already have, and they try to assert dominance in the galaxy, that's when things get out of balance. And the Jedi kind of do what they can to defeat the Sith. I guess you don't necessarily have to kill them, as long as they maybe stop their plans of domination and power. Then maybe that's it. It seems like it's only when the Sith is trying to create disorder and create changes when it happens. Because there's 10,000 Jedi and 2 Sith. It should be out of balance in terms of how many Jedi there are, if you're going off pure numbers. So it's got to be something to do with what the Sith are trying to do. Like they're disrupting the order of things in a way.
And it could, yeah.
It's hard. See, it's hard for me to even describe just because I don't have enough information.
It could be power related.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like
because there could have been that point where, once Maul was fully trained, mm-hmm. and Sidious was at his peak, it's like they could have been more powerful than all the Jedi.
Yeah, maybe.
You know what I mean? Like because it's kind of like what I don't know what I can't remember what point I read this but I might have been the novel maybe or something like that. But I remember Mace and Yoda having that conversation. I think maybe part of it was in episode 2 or was it 3? I think it was 3, but no, I think it was 2. But he was talking about how I think we have to inform the Senate that the power, the ability to use the Force has diminished. It's like maybe they got 1,000 years they got so comfortable.
Yeah.
That they didn't feel like they needed to keep.
Well, there is a hint of them being a little rusty.
Yes.
A little bit, yeah.
Maybe a little arrogant,
I think so. And that's what's so interesting to me. Like, now going back and watching it now and, going through the Clone Wars and just, the Jedi, they were fallible. They didn't do everything right. It's not, they're heroes. They're the good guys, but, they did some shady stuff. Like taking kids from birth, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That's a little different. That's a little,
very
weird.
much so.
So, there's a hint of them, the whole attachment to relationships. It's a little tough. So I can understand the I guess Anakin's anger, I suppose.
Yeah. Yeah, very much so. So, I mean, in my opinion, I think it's, I want to say that I'm leaning toward that the power kind of struggle.
Yeah.
I guess the amount of them doesn't really matter. I don't think because you think about it, if it holds true that 1,000 years ago and beyond, there were hundreds and thousands of Sith, but they fought amongst each other as much as they did against the Jedi. So their power was just off balance just within themselves, and that kind of made me diminish their power. And the Jedi were fully aware of them, and and kind of the light of the galaxy. So, if it comes down to the truth that this is that the prophecy is holds true to multiple chosen ones, then that's what actually to me makes sense. That a chosen one pops up when it goes out of balance.
Yeah,
and that has happened probably several times.
Yeah.
I don't know if it happens as 100 times or something like that. Would maybe that scene described that Rey sees a bunch of them, but yeah, I mean, Luke and Vader, or Anakin restore the balance in Episode 6, but then, like you said, like at some point, Snoke, because I don't think it happens when Kylo turns, because I think she's already born.
Yeah.
Unless there's just anticipation, right? That, I mean, actually, Anakin's born already before the Sith reveal
that's what
themselves.
I'm saying, like,
so
I wonder, so either Palpatine was doing something like maybe 8 years before he was doing something to start that, or the Force can see the
just
future.
Knew it, right? Yeah, had
so
that
it's like,
premonition.
we got to birth the kid now, so that means at this age he's ready to.
And that
start.
makes sense that Rey gets born before Kylo actually destroys the Order, right? I mean, I do want to throw this out there. Like, if you actually look up the definitions of balance, obviously there's the state of having your weight spread equally. And then it's the ability to move or remain in a position without losing control. But then here's one that says the state in which different things occur in equal or proper amounts or have an equal or proper amount of importance.
So it's just the emphasis it's placed, I guess.
So again, so much things happen that are good.
Yeah.
And then eventually there's got to be enough bad to kind of balance it. You know what I mean?
It's so strange. Yeah.
And then Sidious, does so much bad that eventually someone's got to bring it back into, so
to me, it's just like it's like a peace kind of thing where, like, the Jedi aren't trying to rule the galaxy because, first of all, it's not part of their code, but they're just keepers of the peace. They just kind of do their thing in their temple, and they only go out when they're needed. They only go out to delegate or negotiate or protect. They're not
keepers of the peace.
Exactly. So they're not asserting themselves necessarily into anything.
Yeah.
They're not trying to convert or necessarily put people under their rule, unlike the Sith. So the Jedi aren't doing anything, I don't believe, to upset that balance. There's a lot of Jedi, but they're not going out there doing what they're not supposed to do. I guess the Sith are. They're, I feel like the Sith should just be there. It's probably, again, doing their own thing, studying their religion, practicing their own religion, their own way. But they feel like that they just need to take that extra step and be like, okay, well, but just because I'm so twisted by the dark side, let's go out and take as much as we can, because that's just what I want to do or something. I don't know. We need more information. Maybe that's why episode 8, that's what they're going to do, probably. Because I'm really leaning more towards the Rey as the chosen one theory.
I'm pretty much there.
Yeah.
I think I really think. I really think that's probably going to be true. I just don't know if I almost feel like I'd feel pretty good I'd feel okay if Anakin was the first.
Yeah.
And Rey's just the second. You know what I mean? Because that's the story now. I mean, because honestly, if they introduce so many more, I would want to know more about those stories. Why were they chosen ones? What happened back then? So, but I love the idea. I do have to mention, I love the idea of the first Jedi Temple.
Yeah.
I hope we find out more, because I'll tell you one comic series that obviously isn't canon, but they came out a few years ago called Legacy of the Jedi. Not Legacy. Was it Legacy of the Jedi? I think it was
the
Legacy.
origin of
Yes, it was the very beginnings of the Jedi. Like they weren't even they were called something else. It wasn't Jedi. It was something else. But they were the first. It was the first place where they felt the Force, and they started establishing a temple.
Spiritual,
very.
It's just like
It's really good. I really liked it. So I'm wondering if they hint at that or they create some other theory of how it started. I want to know how it started.
Yeah.
Like who was the first Jedi? How long ago has that temple, when did that temple get established? Like thousands and thousands, like
probably,
10,000 years or something like that. I mean, how long have the Jedi been around? We don't know that for sure in canon. This Star Wars canon. So that stuff's going to be cool to learn. Okay, well, I just wanted to kind of. I saw that article and I wanted to respond to that. So, all right, so that'll do it. Besides this little. Some little canon material here.
Yeah. Let's get right into it. So
I'm going to look up something here on this one.
A little short profile today. We are going to be looking at some technology in the DK book, Ultimate Star Wars, that profiles pretty much just about anything you can think of in Star Wars. You have characters, creatures, locations, technology, and vehicles. So just about anything you can think of. And like this is one thing, like some small little Star Wars trivia here. So this profile will be about pit droids. If you don't remember these pit droids, they are in episodes 1, 2, and the Clone Wars. They're kind of like the Three Stooges pit droids that you see in episode 1 that are kind of messing around all the time with the pod racers in Watto's shop. The manufacturer of pit droids is Servo Droid. The model is DUM, so I guess dumb series pit droid. Makes sense. Type repair droid. They are about 3.2 feet tall, 1 meter. So pit droids, it's like like a pit crew. They just do a lot of repair, a lot of maintenance. Pod racer engines, cockpits. They're interesting here. Actually, they're actually capable of lifting objects many times their own weight, which you wouldn't think because they have a very frail-looking structure. And, they're cheap, expendable, so they kind of just can pump them out quickly, do what they can, and that's it. But, you hit the nose, they fold up, you can stow them away. Something that I thought was actually kind of interesting, they're metal. The material they're made out of, it's hardened alloy casings that can endure harsh Tatooine weather. So they are made to withstand harsh, dry weather, such as Tatooine. So those are pit droids, kind of goofy little guys. Again, like the Three Stooges kind of thing. If you've seen episode 1 recently, then you should recall. That is all. Pit droids.
Well, I'm looking at, of course, the book, Absolutely Everything You Need to Know About Star Wars. And since you were just mentioning droids, I just kind of looked up our good friends, 3PO and R2, which they just released the Force Awakens figures at the Disney store last week. So Disney store, the Elite Series figures, C-3PO with his red arm, and then R2-D2.
Yeah.
Pretty cool figures. Go get those. Anyway, just real quick, couple of facts. I'm trying to find one that isn't part of the movie here. And I'm not sure I can find one because they sound like. Yeah, they're all like 6 million forms of communication.
Yeah.
Well, how about this one? I'll just say this one. This is behind the scenes thing. Actor Anthony Daniels couldn't sit down while wearing the C-3PO costume for the first film and had to lean against a board between his scenes.
That's sad.
So I never could sit down. Okay, well, all the other ones are like, what you know. I mean, it's like R2D2 accidentally electrocutes himself trying to plug into a power outlet on Cloud City. He thought it was a computer terminal.
Idiot.
Yeah, I mean... All right. Okay, well, here's the thing real quick. Here's one of the numbers here for 3PO. 3PO's fully assembled weight is 165 pounds. 21 plus bits and bots on R2D2, including arms, scanners, and accessories. Oh, this is both of them. 15 opening panels on R2D2's head. 10 known masters of C3PO.
Interesting.
Whoa. Interesting, yeah. And then R2D2's height is 3 feet 6 inches. For all you you guys across the pond there, that's 1.09 meters. So I know we got some pond listeners out there. All right.
Our ponders.
All right, that'll do it for Inside the Force this week. Like we kind of said, a little slow on the news part, but we're going to bring you that to you anyway. We'll get caught up with some comics, of course. I'm going to get a reviewer on here for Bloodline. Now that the book's been out for a couple of weeks, we can kind of talk about that majorly and dive into what that book reveals. I'll get around to reading it eventually.
Yeah. I'm buying some books this week.
Yeah. I did watch Force Awakens again like a few days ago, and you know, I'm telling you, the whole Chosen One thing it's
looking pretty good.
It's an interesting way to look at it when you watch it like that.
Yeah, I was watching it today. It's just, I don't know, because I was talking to another teacher about it, because she was asking me what I think about it all. And there's just so many things. There's so many illusions for her being a Skywalker. Many. But like totally. And the whole lightsaber, like, you know, it's Anakin, it's Luke's, now it's yours.
I know.
I don't know, but it's just it's crazy. It'll make sense, I guess, if they are going to tie Anakin closely to her, like Anakin's spirit, whatever Chosen One's spirit is.
Yeah.
I don't know, but that's...
Again, I think I mentioned this before, but to me, they've got to, like, we've never seen or heard the origin of his lightsaber, because he just has it. I think he has it during the Clone Wars. Like he loses his lightsaber at Episode 2, right? Attack of the Clones. His lightsaber gets cut in half during the factory.
Yeah.
And then he gets one just by fighting Dooku, but that's not the one that he ends up keeping.
Right.
But when we see him in the Clone Wars, then he has that lightsaber. So he either gets it or he builds it. And I really would like to see them show us him building it, like, because that's a significant part of history now.
Short film or something.
Correct.
Yeah, that'd be cool to see.
Or a comic, you know, whatever. Yeah. But something that, I mean, something that makes that thing, because obviously he drops it when he fights Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan picks it up and lies to Luke that your father wanted you to have this, which actually we saw that the one time. I'm like, dang, he is lying like out of
that. There's no point of view.
Exactly. Yeah. What's the point of view of the lightsaber?
Right.
Like, your father wanted you to have this, but your uncle wouldn't allow. It's like, when did that conversation take place?
You're shifting the blame here. Like, you just say it's your father's. Don't create this whole story behind
because
it.
Anakin never told him that he was having a son
when he's on the bottom of the hill. I see you picking up a lightsaber. If I have a son, which I don't think I do.
I mean,
because my wife is dead, but you know.
I mean, it's basically saying, maybe he's saying Obi-Wan, like, I wanted you to have this when you were old enough, but your uncle wouldn't allow it. That's more like what he's saying. Anyway. Fathers. So anyway, the lightsaber, it's pretty significant.
Yeah, well, it's the Chosen One's lightsaber, so it's got to have some kind of weight to it, some kind of power.
Yeah, that'd be interesting, because I mean, that thing's been around for what, 60 years now?
Just about.
Close.
It's a long-lasting power source.
20, 50, about 50-something years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's pretty close to 60.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks, guys. InsideTheForce.com. Subscribe there and hit up all the social media channels there, Twitter, Facebook. He's Kryptonian1138. I am D Cottingham21. Follow us on Twitter. See you guys next week for For Casey Cooley.
I can feel your anger. Gives you focus. Makes you stronger. That's it.
Have you did that one before? That sounds familiar, but maybe you say that all the time. I don't know.
Well, I don't know. I quote Star Wars on the daily, but
I know, right?
That's Palpatine from Revenge of the Sith.
Yep.
Makes you stronger. He's good. He's good to quote.
Yeah, he's good. All right, thanks guys for listening. We will be back soon. For Casey.
Goodbye, everybody.
I'm Dave Cottingham, and may the Force be with you.
This has been a production of the 21 Network. For more great podcasts, visit 21network.com. To view additional content, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/21network. Follow us on Twitter at 21network for the latest news and updates. The 21 Network, for the fan and all of us.